Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Divine. There's something about you being the real you, unapologetically, with no reservations, no hesitation, just being you. Beautiful, sweet, powerful, divine, loving you. And when I say loving you, it's like you're a loving being because you've learned to love yourself. You may feel like you're still on a journey of learning to love yourself, as I truly feel we all are, but the past tense came through there where it says, I said, you've learned to love yourself. And that's because you have done so much to truly embrace who you are. It's really phenomenal because you've been through so much and you've had so many reasons to give up or to remain attached to burdens of suffering and of pain. But you've made a conscious choice to move beyond that. Also, there's something here about not being afraid to explore the depths of your emotions, of yourself, of yourselves, okay? We all have many selves, whether we like to admit it or not. And you're embracing every single aspect of you. And there's something about no longer being afraid of what you find when you go within. That's a reason why a lot of people avoid the healing work that's needed. That's a reason why a lot of people give up on their blessings, is because they reach a certain level where a certain amount of healing and truth and honesty and reflection, genuine self-reflection is necessary, and they give up because they don't want to feel any sense of shame. But that's where self-love comes in. And you realize that in that moment where you understand yourself deeper, that no matter what little bit of shame might rear its head up, it's worth it to move through that to get to the good stuff, which is understanding yourself, knowing who you are, so that nobody can come along and take away what's yours. Nobody can come along and lie to you and get you to believe something about yourself that you know is not true, because you've done the work to learn and to understand who you are. So it's this really like genuine sense of self-love, and it feels good. Okay, I'm stepping into that energy as we're getting into the reading, and it feels so good. I was doing my sit-ups today and I meditate while I work out, so it was just, I was getting that from the collective, and it feels so good to know that you are stepping into this energy and it's like home to you now. You're making this level of self-love where you just reside. It's your norm. It's becoming your norm if it hasn't already. Okay? All right, let's pull an empath oracle card. I'm feeling like some really deep vibes from you. Okay? Really, really deep vibes. Like realness. It's this authenticity. This sense of genuineness. Ooh, yes. Okay, so we've got accepting the past and realizing empathy as revolution. And then the R is in parentheses, so it's also evolution. I love that, because, you know, a revolution is like where things are changing, and it feels like revolution. It feels like something is changing around you. You're shifting the energy around you. Evolution, what I'm getting here is like evolution is within you. So your empathy, your ability to feel, to know yourself, and also your ability to tune into other people, it's causing a change both within you and around you in the systems that have been in place for so long that might not work. We might need a revolution. And I feel like this is so poignant right now. This is so timely right now, where we're noticing some very demonic systems around us, some demonic patterns where certain beings think that it's time to play in other people's energy. Certain beings think that it's time to go back, to backtrack, and go to a time where freedom was not the goal. It was about oppression. And so as you are freeing yourself within, you're causing chain reactions around you. As you grow and accept yourself and live unapologetically about who you are and the gifts that you have and the energy that you bring to this earth, it's like a ripple effect. It starts within you, you know, kind of like an earthquake or something that starts within the earth, and then it creates a tsunami. Okay, it's like a ripple effect. And so as you go into a public place, as you go and you are communing with other people, as you converse with friends or family, there's this vibe about you that it lets people know that freedom is where it's at. That evolution and moving forward while accepting the present, while celebrating the present. This isn't about hating who we are in the present. This is about honoring our present state enough and loving ourselves enough to keep growing and to keep evolving. And that energy right there is contagious. There's something about you that is going to cause a massive change in a system that is currently extremely toxic. It could be a family system, it could be a community, it could be a work environment, it could be a cult or some sort of society where the norm right now is enslavement, which I would say is the opposite of freedom. It's the norm right now in this system to bind people to a person's will. And that is just, that's not how you get down. Your soul is like, hell nah, you do not resonate with that at all. Your soul is coming through loud and clear, and it's like the spirit of the eagle. Okay, I'm getting high flying birds, I'm seeing the eagle, I'm seeing the hawk. You have a beautiful perspective where you see things from way, way, way above. Okay, and you can, the amazing thing about you, one of the amazing things about you is that you can see things clearly on the ground level. So if you're with a group of people and they're completely toxic, you have the ability to be with them on the ground and relate to them. That's where you're on the ground with them. You're relatable, okay? You don't come across so high and mighty that like, oh, who do they think they are? Like, people are going to listen to you. This is a gift that you have. You are able to relate well with people. And that's something that's extremely unique, because there are a lot of therapists, there are a lot of pastors, preachers. There are a lot of people who say they're a part of the community to help people and to assist them. But they haven't worked on their own shit. 10-10 on the timer. Enough to truly be humble and know what the path is really like. They've rehearsed lines. They've memorized theories and cute little things that sound so catchy about the healing process. They sound like they know what they're talking about. So much so that some of these people have packed churches on Sunday morning. People amening and into everything that they say. Everybody thinks they've got it together, except a select few that know bullshit when they feel it. Yeah, when they feel it, when they sense it. And that's you. You know the truth, and you know what's not truth. And with you doing the work that's necessary day in and day out to honestly assess where you are, 11:11 on the timer, and to align yourself with your divine energy so that you're honest about where you are. You do the work that's required to love yourself. And so when you converse with a group of people, or when you get to know someone, you don't get to know them so that you can state your rhetoric and sound like you know what you're talking about. You get to know them because you wish to connect with other people. You wish to understand other people like you understand yourself. That is one of your superpowers, is your ability to understand things. And so you're evolving, but you're also creating revolutions around you in systems that are toxic, where freedom is not the goal, okay? And we're seeing a lot of that, okay, in governments, right before our eyes. And we still have some people who are oblivious to the impact that that has on societies and on individuals, how hurtful it is. But you're here as a very important part of this revolution that's taking place. And I'm going to go ahead and call it that. It's a revolution. Okay? And you are so aligned with this work because you're evolving within. You don't shy away from that work. And you don't shun your shadows. You get to know them. And that way you fully integrate your shadows and your light. Ashe. Okay, so you've got, oh, and that was card 3. So, you know, the thing that comes to me with the number 3, I don't usually think of this, but it's the Trinity. Okay? It's the Trinity. It's the aspects of yourself, this union, this divine union within yourself. Okay, I'm seeing masculine energy, feminine energy, and the divine. It feels like completeness. Okay, so however you see the Trinity, some people see it from a more traditional standpoint. I'm not going to go into that. Because with the Holy Trinity, I've always been like, and where's the feminine energy? Okay, so, but what is coming through here? Where there's masculine, there has to be feminine too, okay? But what's coming through is that you are a complete being. There's no part of you that you're leaving out, okay? And so if that image resonates with you, okay, if anything comes through, or if that triggers anything positive for you, Ashe. And we've also got the card 35, accepting the past. Now this is, wow. I'm seeing boulders here. Boulders, like that is the weight of some of the things in your past that you could have allowed to keep you down. Heavy boulders. burdens that you're releasing because you choose to move towards the horizon. You choose to honor what you've been through in your past, love who you are, honor the choices that you made in the past, understanding that you did the best that you knew to do. Sometimes you may have been in a state of survival and you're here now. So whatever you did, it worked well enough to get you here. So there is no place for hatred of who you are. And if you do feel hatred for who you are, then just know that that is not something that you have to continue to experience if you wish to release that. You deserve to love and accept the being that you are and the being that you've always been. And what's coming through to me is that you are a fine, beautiful being, and that you have done an exceptional job, an outstanding job of doing the best that you knew to do, and of never giving up on yourself, never giving up on your dreams, never giving up on the possibilities that you have been blessed with as a divine being. Yeah, accepting the past, feeling this lightness that allows you to move into the future with hope and with peace. With peace. Letting go of anxiety that has set in because of past experiences. Letting go of fears and insecurities that have settled in. They don't have to be there. They're there now, but they don't have to remain. Okay? It's always a process of learning and loving and letting go. Learning, loving, and letting go. Ashe. Okay. I'm guided to this deck. Thank you, Spirit. What's coming through for this beautiful being? What do they need to know? Relief. Yes, and it came right. It was like here on accepting the past. Relief. Release. Now, we're in Aquarius season, okay? Also, we've got a new moon coming up on the 17th, along with an eclipse. All of this energy allows us to release what is not aligned with our North Node, because this eclipse coming up is a North Node eclipse, okay? It's a solar eclipse, but it impacts our North Node, okay? Anything that does not help you to move in the direction of your soul's purpose, you are being, like, I don't want to say inundated, because it could sound overwhelming, but you are seeing so many opportunities to release things, to let go of things that would keep you away from your true path and your true purpose. And it feels like you've been doing a lot of this work, this external work already, where you've been clearing people and things from your life that you knew were not right. You knew that they were awful for your nervous system. It's like anything that just constantly gave you anxiety and then made you depressed, you were like, I can't do it. So this is like, you know, toxic jobs, toxic work environments, relationships, okay? And some of these things, because I've got something in my eye right now, some of these things, you may have felt like this pain for an extended period of time, but you put up with it, you put up with it, you put up with it, but it got to a point, thank you, Spirit, my eye's feeling better. it got to a point where you were like, I can't do it anymore. And more than likely, something happened where spirit was like, you're gonna get this message. Maybe a tower happened. Maybe there was something that arose with your health, okay? But it came to a time or a point in time where it was undeniable. You realized with such clarity what needed to go, what had to go. And so there were all these external things that you started just cleaning your life up, saying, I'm not gonna do this anymore. But now what you're releasing is things within that were a response, a trauma response to all those toxic things that you had put up with. Why did you put up with them? Because, well, a lot of us are trained to be nice. A lot of us were trained since childhood to be nice to people. Or for those of us that have suffered from insecurities, we thought we didn't deserve anything better. Or we lacked the voice, the strength, 2111 on the timer, to require the balance that we deserved, to speak up for ourselves. There are a host of reasons as to why people stay in toxic environments and toxic situations. And the thing about all of those situations is that you thought you were doing what you needed to do at the time. So one of those things that you're releasing and letting go of is guilt, shame over maybe how long it took you to release something or how long it took you to realize something. You're letting go of the shame that you might feel about maybe not being where you wish you were. Where you are right now is beautiful because you didn't have to be here. You could have given up. You see what I'm saying? Your existence is a blessing. But you're experiencing so much relief, and this is just going to continue to extend and to deepen. It's like a tree that, you know, its roots are growing. This relief is a vibe, it's a frequency that's going to continue to expand in your life because you're going to continue to release things within that have been a response to a lot of the stressful things that you put up with. It's like if you were in a toxic relationship and you were very anxious around that person. Okay, maybe they were abusive, maybe they were harmful in some way. And so you had this response to them that just naturally popped up because of so much trauma, where whenever they came around, you were just nervous, anxious, fearful, insecure. Well, when the person leaves our life, or when we leave the person, or when we create change, that's only the beginning. When we leave that toxic work environment, there's some purification that needs to happen, because sometimes we may be left with some trauma or with some anger or with some fear. And so there's a lot of external cleaning that you've been doing those big things that we must do to clean up our lives, right? Clearing out the toxic shit. But within us, because of our being conditioned in those toxic situations to respond in a certain way, out of fear, out of anger, out of insecurity, that's where we have to continue to let go. Where it's not so much now about choosing not to be in that relationship. Now it's about choosing to love ourselves through those actions that we've become conditioned to move in, to act in. I hope I'm making sense. It's the way that we're kind of trained and conditioned to feel as a result of the painful situations that we've been in. And that's what you're releasing, and you're experiencing so much relief from, okay? And that's why this realizing empathy as an evolution within yourself is like, a lot of that empathy that you were giving other people, you're giving it to yourself now. You're like, let me see what I'm feeling. Let me check in with me. Let me tune into my energy and focus on my healing. And you know, when you do that, you're going to save yourself a whole lot of drama and trauma in the future, in the present and future, because you're learning as you are empathic with yourself and you give that empathy to yourself that perhaps you used to worry so much about giving other people. You're learning to listen to you. You're learning to turn those ears inward so that you're hearing your own voice. You're tuning into your subconscious that is now integrating with your consciousness, and you're working together. The subconscious mind is beautiful because it's aware of certain things that have not been brought to light. Your subconscious knows a whole lot of things that your conscious mind doesn't know. But it also stores a lot of, as for all of us, it's where fear is stored, it's where insecurities are stored and all of that. So as we heal those things, Delilah's saying, Ashe, she's down there shaking. As we heal those fears and insecurities, then we get the benefit of our subconscious and our consciousness coming together and working together, okay? So yeah, thank you, Spirit. What else is coming through for this beautiful being? Hedonist, yeah. You're tapping into creative energy and inspired energy that allows you to just enjoy life. So it's cool how we can break down the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, a lot of your healing comes through your enjoyment of simple things in life. Your willingness to give yourself the freedom to feel inspired and creative, you know? What else is coming through for this beautiful being? Mediator. And I'm seeing your mediator as like the coming together of your shadow and your light. Accepting it all, loving it all. So we've got hedonist here. And I feel like one thing that's coming through here is that it's going to feel so good because, you know, hedonism is about what feels good, you know? And on the positive end of the spectrum, it's about what feels good, but it's also good for your well-being. So that's accepting your light and your shadow. Understanding your light and your shadow. Honoring and celebrating your light and your shadow, and not condemning yourself for choices that you've made in the past. Realizing that doing that keeps us solely in our shadow. But what a lot of people like to do, like the people that I was talking about that, you know, pretend to know about the path and everything and get everybody's approval because they sound so good, but they're not really doing the work. So they're really in their shadow, but they pretend to be in the light. Let's see, I can't get down with that. I'd rather you be all in the shadow. Just let us know who you are. Just be all shadow all day. Don't pretend to be in the light. You know what I'm saying? That's always kind of been a pet peeve of mine. Because I think no matter who you are, you should be real about it. I don't like people who fake and pretend and like, what's the point? Now, sometimes we fake and pretend when we're so ashamed of who we are. And we sort of create a mask subconsciously. We don't know that we're doing it, but we're doing it to appear acceptable to others. A lot of this is because of societal norms. We think that we need to appear a certain way to be accepted, right? And so a lot of us wear masks for that reason. We're not consciously trying to fool people, but we're doing it. We're wearing that mask because we're so ashamed of being rejected. If I'm myself, first of all, what does that feel like? Because maybe you grew up in an environment where you weren't allowed to be yourself. So you really didn't get that practice. You know what I'm saying? It's awesome when parents and family environments encourage their children to just be who they are, because they don't really have to unlearn the wearing of a mask. You know what I'm saying? And so that's something that I've gone through, is I've had to learn to embrace myself and learn who I was, because there was all this conditioning telling me what was acceptable and what wasn't, what was right for me and what wasn't. And so embracing who I am naturally and learning who I am, that's been a really amazing process. So some of us wear masks because there's shame there, right? But as we accept who we truly are, those masks dissolve, okay? And as long as you're doing the work to love yourself truly, the masks will dissolve. Trust me. Okay, then we've got here monk, nun, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. So this is about your alignment with your North Node. I feel like there might be a time where you are so adamant about resisting anything that doesn't align, you know, that doesn't align with who you are. And this is a process that a lot of us have to go through, where we're just adamant about it, you know. Some people might think, oh, you're too good for us now, you don't want to hang, you know, you don't want to do this, why are you doing that, you know, girl, you're doing too much, you know, have some fun. Well, you can have fun in the way that you want to have fun. Maybe there's something that you have released that you just don't want to give into that frequency because it's too much of a temptation for you and you might slip into an old pattern. Or maybe there's something that you just don't want to be a part of anymore because it brings back memories and it might trigger some PTSD for you, okay? But it feels like an aspect of yourself that you're tuning into where you're very adamant about what is right for you at this time. And it feels like a natural part of your process. And as with all things, as long as we're dedicated to our self-love and our divine purpose, balance comes into play. Balance saves the day, you know. But yeah, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. It's funny that hedonist and monk, nun are on either side of mediator. So that is exactly what's happening, is you're balancing your dedication to spirit and to your path with your ability to enjoy life and let loose, you know. 3333 on the timer. Trinity. There's like this, yeah, it feels like a divine balance where all aspects of you are being healed. And see, that's a part of what was coming to me earlier, was like these people who act as though they're here to help others and teach others how to be, but yet they haven't done the work themselves. You are going to be balanced. It's always going to be on your path to be balanced. It's like you'll always have checks, or you could say maybe checkpoints, where divine will always make sure that you're balanced because you're real. The only reason why some people are coming across completely as someone who doesn't understand anything about the real world, but they can quote scriptures all day, or they can tell you everything about your life that needs to be fixed, but then their life is in shambles. Like, these are the people who act so pious and so holier than thou, because it's always going to come across like that. Their help is always going to come across like that, or their message is always going to seem holier than thou, because they're not balanced, because they're not really doing the work. When you're really doing the work, these energies are just naturally going to be balanced. When you're not in denial of something in your life, of a glaring problem or something, when you see things clearly, you're not going to be in denial, and you're going to achieve balance because you're genuine. Your path is authentic. And so you know that when you get so divine and like almost out of touch with the real world, okay, I need to ground now. Maybe I want to have a little fun. Maybe I want to go and dance. Maybe I want to I don't know, put my hands in the earth and dig or something. Something to ground you, where you don't lose touch with the physical realm, you know? So something about balance there. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Okay, Spirit. I'm being guided to go to Hard Truths, but this deck is a little... it's not offensive. It's not offensive. It doesn't hold back. So thank you, Divine, for the message that's needed. Yes, thank you for bringing that through. What does this beautiful being need to know? Thank you, Spirit. What do we need to know here? Right person. Nurture this relationship. It holds the potential for mutual growth and support for this phase of your journey. So there's somebody in your life who's meant to be there. Also, I feel like Divine is saying that you are the right person. Look, as I was like saying that this deck is a little, this is like a really nice message. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, but Divine is also saying that you're the right person. If there's been some doubt that you've had about yourself, chin up. There's no need to doubt who you are, because you're the real thing. You are the real thing. I'm hearing, what is that? You got the right one, baby. It's some kind of song, like a bluesy song. You got the right one, baby. Something like that. I don't know if it was Ray Charles. I want to say Ray Charles. I don't know. But it's like, you're the right one. And somebody in your life knows that you're the right one. There might be some doubts that you've had, but this is a really positive mutual connection. Somebody needs to know that, okay? So that's for somebody. But yeah, this is also like, if you're not in a mutual relationship right now where you've been kind of like, Divine is saying that you're the right one for your path. You are doing the right work, and you're in the right place at this time, and you're growing so beautifully. Okay, you're growing so beautifully. Anything else, Spirit, that this beautiful being needs to know? Okay, they're saying that's it. Okay, thank you, Divine. And I'm being guided to this animal spirit deck. This might be a short one today because I feel like it was kind of heavy. I don't know, it's kind of deep. But yeah. Oh, look, the crow. Ashe. Ashe, look at that. Crow spirit. Yeah, you are so in tune with the spirit realm. You're aware of things and beings, spirits, energies around you that other people never stop to notice. And it's not about a competition. It's not about a competition, but see, the world, society naturally compares spiritual people to everybody else anyway. So things are kind of set up to make spiritual people seem out there and not balanced and crazy. So when, at least in my messages that come through, I know that Spirit, when they're telling you that, like, you're able to do this and you're able to do that, it's because the collective, the divine collective, needs to be reassured of these things, because there are all of these negative messages coming out trying to convince us of otherwise. You know what I mean? And so it's just reassurance. It's not to promote arrogance or anything like that, but it's to remind you that yes, you communicate with the world around you in a different way. You're not like everybody else, but you're not supposed to be. If you were like everybody else, we would all be doomed. We would all be doomed. You're here with a very specific purpose, and it is divine and it is beautiful, and that's why this message is coming through for you. So yeah, Crow Spirit. Also, you're very in tune with the animal world, so you hear those bird calls and you hear sounds that other people are just like, la-di-da. You're like, oh, a crow's talking to me, what are they saying, you know? So you receive messages from the natural realm, understanding that those are messages from Spirit, and divine is using the beings around you, those animals, those birds, those critters, to send a very specific message to you, or a frequency. Sometimes it's not like, you know, sometimes you might hear communication from an animal, but it can also just be a frequency that you pick up on. Like, you know that they're telling you everything's okay. Or like I see cardinals all the time, that's your ancestors are coming through, or whatever you see that does that. It might be hummingbirds for you, you know. Yeah. All right, we've got the dragonfly. So there's some sort of illusion here about holding on, an attachment with the octopus there. Tiger, divine feminine, spiritual energy, and fox with the clarity and cleverness that you need to navigate something. That's what's coming through. So yeah, there is some sticky energy that's been trying to get in your way, and really is that they want you. That's what I'm hearing. Maybe that's why divine brought through this right person for a mutually respectful and loving energy within a relationship, because they don't want to confuse this. Like, there's somebody in your life who's right. Maybe there's something being healed, something being renewed, something being nurtured. Okay? That's beautiful. There's another frequency that's trying to hold on to you, trying to wrap their tentacles around you, and they're trying to disguise themselves with the dragonfly. It's about an illusion. So they want to not only get in your way, but access your energy, but they don't want you to know that they're trying to do what they're doing. But see, this is you. That's them. Illusion and trying to hang on to you. But this is you. The tiger, I want to double check and make sure, but I believe that's like divine feminine, fire. Is that right? Let's see here. Lunar force, yeah, because it's lunar, okay? Lunar force, ease and darkness. So divine feminine, yeah, feminine energy. This is about passionate, strong, and sensual. And see, let me tell you something. That's one reason why somebody, 43 on the timer, that's why somebody wants to hang on to you. That's why they want to wrap their tentacles around you. I'm getting the image of Ursula from The Little Mermaid, you know? It's somebody who is not who you are. They don't have what you have. They don't vibe how you vibe, and they don't put in the work that you put in. But they want you. They want the benefit of your energy. They want to, I heard, suck you dry. So however that resonates, okay? But they definitely want your energy. And I kept earlier today, I kept seeing somebody like take a straw and put it up to somebody's energy and just like, you know, like those images of people that would sit at the diners and sip on the milkshakes. Like, that's what they were doing. They were literally pulling up, like acting like with a straw, acting like they're ready for their refill. It was disgusting. I mean, that's great for a milkshake, but if you're trying to do that with somebody's energy, ew. 4444 on the timer. You are protected from this sticky, nasty energy. Okay? Also, you're coming through not only as the tiger, but also as the fox. So you're clever. You're intuitive. And you have, let's see, that's Earth. Let's see what the fox is saying. I just want to make sure. Yeah, you're smart. You're a strong partner or mate. Okay, so that came through also with the right person card. And you're a wise teacher as well. You're magical, ingenious, you're a teacher, and monogamous. Okay, so you might not be into sharing and swapping, which some people are, you know. I think most people who do that, the sharing and swapping, they do it in a very low vibe frequency, and so it gives the people who know how to share and be polyamorous in a positive way, it gives them a bad rep, right? Because I think that so few people actually get that right. That's just my take on it. Okay, so take that for what it's worth. But you're coming through as very monogamous, and that's one reason why Spirit wanted to confirm for you that you are with someone, or you are building a connection with someone, or you are attracting someone who truly is the right person. I feel like this is all coming through because there could be someone trying to throw illusions to get you to see your right person in a negative light, because the dragonfly is all about illusions. Okay, this could even be an ex that wants to hold on, and they don't want to see you with somebody new, so they want you to think of your new person as a problem, or as, yeah, I'm getting that energy of, I don't want them to move on, so I'm going to try to F up everything that's on their path. That's just, it feels like the vibe. 4646 on the timer, but that's also 4 and 6, 10, 10. So there's something with this person who's throwing illusions and trying to remain attached to your energy. As over. That is so over. And they don't want to come to terms with that. But you're clever. And I feel like this person who was trying to remain in your life with all these illusions, they were not monogamous. They were probably anything but monogamous, and that's why that came through so clearly with the fox, is that that's not what you wanted. You didn't want to have any parts with that. So how dare they stick around when they were not willing to give you the courtesy, the dignity, and the respect of a monogamous relationship, which is what you wanted, and they knew that. You know, it's like if you want to be, hey, if somebody wants to be for the streets, be for the streets, but don't get in a relationship with someone who wants to be monogamous and then be in the streets. Or if somebody wants to be polyamorous, people who do polyamory right, they're very honest from the get-go. So they're gonna let the person that they're seeing know, this is what I want, this is how I want to be. So are you down with that? Is that something, you know? But crossing into somebody else's territory and trying to unite with them, but knowing that what you want is not compatible with what they want, see, that's where this other person went wrong. And now they're trying to be an octopus and keep tabs on you and suck your energy dry when they have no access to you, because they were never meant to be with you if they knew that they could not give you the life that you wanted. Okay, a monogamous relationship. They had no business doing it. So, all right, let's get a cosmic energy card and see what is coming to you. Okay, we've got compassion. I feel like this is compassion for yourself. Also compassion within a loving connection. Okay, doesn't have to be romantic, but there is a connection that you have that is like, compassion is there, and it's a perfect situation to experience compassion. Balance and creativity. We had talked about balance. Ashe. That's right. Also, I'm seeing these feathers, and Ma'at was coming through. I was just recording a bowl video, and I just kept hearing, may your heart be light as a feather. May your heart be light as a feather. So if you know about Ma'at, you know that she weighs the heart to a feather, and your heart should be lighter than a feather. So that's what your balance brings you, is this purity of heart, where you don't carry things around with you that make you feel heavy and that burden you. You're light, okay? Also, your creative energy is where your healing is at. So the more you create, the more healing energy you experience, okay? So yes, you are a beautiful being and you are definitely on the right path. There is no doubt about that. Just keep going, keep loving yourself, keep working to understand yourself. And I just know you have so many beautiful things ahead and right here for you as well, right here in this present moment. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit, for these messages, and thank you, beautiful being, for taking the time to tune in. I hope that you got some clarity, some positive vibes, some goodness out of this, and I love you, and I wish you peace, I wish you joy, and so many blessings. Take care.